Hey Josh, how's it going?
Good, good.
Welcome
Can you hear
to
me all
the
right?
stage. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you perfect. Can you hear me all right?
Yep, perfect. Awesome.
Oh, that's great. All right, awesome. Well, Andre will be here in a second. We're just gonna have some of our community just trickle in, and then we'll kick this off in a short little minute. Here's Andre right now, our head of DeFi, hopping onto stage. Hey Andre, welcome to the stage, sir.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Hey ya. Good to have you on here. Good to have Josh on here too.
Yeah, this is great. I spoke yesterday with Josh, and as a matter of fact, I interviewed him for another podcast 2 years ago. So now we're doing a remake.
Hey, round two. What do you know? It's always interesting how that happens.
Yeah, it's a small
Yeah,
industry. So
crypto, small world. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
how are you doing, Josh,
Yeah.
today?
Oh, sorry, I was having trouble unmuting. I'm doing great. How about yourself, Andre? And how about you, Jordan?
Good, man. Good, good. Pretty productive day so far. You can't really keep up with everything happening in crypto. I've seen that city is on fire today, but not sure why. Probably another hack or another institution buying something or something happening. Uh, but yeah, great.
Bitcoin's up, so that's probably a good reason. Yeah,
Yeah, Bitcoin's up, ETH is down. So yeah,
yeah.
that's that.
Such is life.
All right, I think that we can go into it. What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, for sure. You can do what you do best, Andre, and you can take the mic from here.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, Joshua. So, yeah, maybe you can start with an introduction of yourself and what is Aori?
Yeah, yeah. So my background's in market making. I was an options market maker on a couple of major crypto exchanges, derivatives exchanges for about 2.5 years. Was really early on into like doing things like CFI, DeFi, Stat Arb on like different options tokens and derivatives and whatnot. Yeah, led a trading desk for about 2.5 years, as I said. And then after that, got into building protocols. Built a lending market called TAMM in 2022, and then yeah, after that, started working on Aori, and been working on Aori now for about a year, a little over a year now. And so maybe yeah, to give a high level of Aori, Aori is a high performance off chain execution, I guess intent centric execution platform. So just in very, very simple terms, that's like Uniswap X, except instead of auctioning off every order, we allow you to kind of determine how you want your liquidity to be sold off, whether you want to just sell it at a fixed price, auction it off, maybe do something like a TWAP. But all of the execution, the gas payment, and the routing is done by solvers directly. So very similar to how you know Li.Fi works under the hood, and what ends up happening is, and like why we're excited about chatting today is Li.Fi is a solver, integrated solver on Aori. We use both solvers and aggregators, and look for the best possible price across all of them for our users. So yeah, it kind of we're order flow agnostic, so it doesn't really matter where we end up executing on, as long as it's the best price for whatever our user's intent was. So yeah, I think that's probably like a good place to start.
Got it. And what inspired the creation of Aori? And what unique problems do you aim to solve uh, DeFi?
Yeah, yeah. So what started like I guess inspired Aori at the beginning was myself and a couple of my friends and partners that we traded with. We had a really hard time market making and trading on decentralized exchanges. It turns out that by putting any part of your market making on chain, you're incredibly limited in terms of like how much liquidity you can actually provide. So if you're having to pay gas to make on every single transaction or take on every single transaction, that ends up being incredibly gas inefficient. And so what we wanted to do was build some kind of an order book where the only gas paying event would be settlement. So it's after a solver and a market maker, or a solver and a end user DeFi protocol agree on a price and agree on amounts, and then can then execute that transaction against one another. So yeah, and like a lot of that came from just how additionally, like another part of it was just how hard it was for people who aren't DeFi native to get into DeFi and be able to actually trade in DeFi. So we wanted to build a really clean interface where a user could just send us a signature and a clear intent and some parameters like what token they have and what token they want, and be able to settle transactions really fast with incredible pricing.
Got it. And so a few questions on the actual design of this. How would you say this is different from CowSwap's current model? And also, will this be, yeah, will those swaps be gasless, or, the gas has to be paid separately?
Yeah, so they're just like CowSwap. They're completely gasless for the taker or the user. The big difference is CowSwap. Whenever you go to CowSwap and you make a transaction, what you're doing is you're guaranteeing to auction off your order. You're saying, "Hey, I'm selling my liquidity. I'm selling this, ETH or whatever you end up selling," and their network of solvers then all bid on that transaction and try to find the best route possible for you. What happens on Aori is you can come to Aori and announce that you're going to sell your ETH or your USDC or whatever, and that is a non-binding order on Aori. So we don't force you to trade. We allow you to look at what prices come in from our solvers, and then you can choose whether or not you're going to fill it. That's completely. That means you have much more flexibility in terms of like, hey, do I think I'm getting a fair price or not? And then you can choose to execute it. Additionally, we don't do an auction mechanism. We do more of an RFQ. So instead of your order being auctioned off to the highest solver or highest searcher, what ends up happening is you just get to see an incoming stream every second of all of the orders coming in for your order. So you get to see every single transaction, every single bid on your order. So yeah, it ends up making it where as a user you have much more control over your trade.
Okay, and does this mean that in the on the front end, will this be similar to how we're showing this on Jumper, in which the users can see actual quotes from other solvers or other DAX aggregators, or the user can only see one quote, but they can also see like an order book style uh, DAX, in which they can basically see like what's the spread from, what the solvers are offering from for each and one trade.
Yeah, so they don't get to see which solver is providing them each quote, but they get to see like a table of all of the best quotes. So that shows them like they're able to see like all of the top 5 or 10 or so, transactions coming in and bids. But we actually, for the purpose of the maker's, privacy, we don't share who the maker is. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Uh, why did you choose an order book style infrastructure uh, instead of a club, for example?
Well, a club is an order book. You mean over an AMM or something?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, it's like we have so many terms. So I see a
Yeah.
club as a centralized limit order book, which is open and transparent for everyone, but it's still centralized by a few market makers. However, in this case, how I understand Aori, you basically have to request the quote, and then you have to fulfill, if you want to fulfill the order. So it's kind of somewhere in between an AMM and a club, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, you're almost right, but no, we are a true central limit order book. So every single An RFQ is just a way for you, like a way for you to interact with it. It's a way for you to say, hey, I'd like to let the order book know that this is how much USDC I want, and then the order book then can update in real time, providing you the best possible quote. So what's quite nice is every single concurrent RFQ. So like for example, if you and me both, Andre, went to our website and put in a request for quote for different amounts of USDC, let's say 100 and 500, um, you know, the order book would populate with requests for quote for both 100 USDC and 500 USDC. So we have a truly open order book that anyone can query at any time that provides all public data on the order book. There's no hidden orders. There's no you know limitation of like what you can see and what you can't see. We're incredibly transparent in terms of like letting all of the users see everything in terms of all possible bids and transactions in the order book. Yeah, we definitely wouldn't want to hide any from anybody so that they would think that they're possibly getting a worse quote than anyone else. So yeah, we wanted to make it as transparent as possible. Um, I would say the RFQ feature is mostly a feature for improving people's quality of life, where we just tell them, hey, if you want to, you know, get a particular tokens quote, or you want to get a particular size quote, you should use the RFQ method. But it is a true order book in terms of like how it's structured and how you can view it.
Got it. And will this be only, yeah, so will you pack this also as an API to empower our other, developers, or will this be exactly like a B2C kind of product that is, meant for the end user?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, so we definitely have put a huge priority on integrating with different applications, different DeFi protocols of all kinds, and yeah, across all chains as well. And that's kind of why we're also really excited about integrating with Li.Fi because Li.Fi's access to liquidity and also cross-chain trading is really important for us for providing some of the value to like who our B2B users are. So we're working with a number of like perp dexes and a number of derivatives exchanges who under the hood might be doing some kind of a swap where, let's say for example, if you wanted to go long ETH, you might borrow USDC and then buy Ethereum on a perp dex under the hood. And so that's actually what we're working with a couple of perp dexes on, is integrating in Li.Fi and our existing solver network to find the best possible quote for our end users and show them what that is, so we can provide the best liquidity for their users. So we work with a lot of protocols like that on the B2B side, where we try to add as much value as we can and provide them the best liquidity possible.
I know that I've been following Aori since, the very early days, since you guys were building another project. And I remember that initially when Aori launched, you had some sort of seed NFTs, which, to be honest, I wanted so bad to buy, but it was a bear market, so please don't judge me on my decisions in a bear market. Can you tell
All good,
our
all good.
more on the benefits of holding an NFT seed, and how does that impact fees or earnings, or yeah, what's up with the NFT seeds, because they were so cool. I remember that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're still traded. People like to trade them. They're on OpenSea. They're called the Aori seats. What they do is they get you zero fees on the protocol. So they're quite actually useful if you want to trade on Aori a lot. And so yeah, we've been really active with them. We have quite a few that are held by guys like market makers, a lot of dexes that are using Aori. And the really cool thing is like they also have these like built-in referral link qualities. So if you own a seat and people trade through your seat, which you can ref link, you get to capture fees that they spend on the protocol directly. So yeah, we're quite active in terms of like the utilization of the seats and how best to use them and kind of help incentivize usage on the protocol. Yeah.
Jordan, we
Win,
need
win
to take
Li-Fi seats. Win Li-Fi seats.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Jordan, we need to take some notes here for Jumper.
Oh yeah, no, I already took note of that. I'm gonna work on it today, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we have the loyalty pass for our Jumper users, which is, basically getting them all sort of benefits for creating one jumper and many more in the future. Because I know that many in the audience here are actually asking us and looking forward to what the loyalty pass means and what will that bring them. But it's basically a lot of optionality and benefits in the long run, even after anything that could happen and could morph from jumper. Uh, yeah, so Josh, tell me more about the partnerships and collaborations that have been the most significant for Awori, and where are you going next?
Well, of course, Li.Fi is a big one, so we're unbelievably excited to have you guys on and work with you guys, and hopefully bring a lot of volume your way in terms of unique applications, unique dexes that are really looking for access to highest slot or best in slot liquidity. So we're super excited about that. Um, I guess a couple of them we'll be announcing soon, so I can't say too much about, but. We've been working with a lot of market makers and a lot of DeFi protocols that are looking for amazing execution, and so that's why we're super excited to work together. And yeah, I'll hopefully have more names soon, but we'll be launching, of course, on a lot of the biggest chains as well. So we'll be launching on Barachain, on Monad, Say, as well as like all the major L1s and L2s that are live today, like ETH, Optimism, Arbitrum, and whatnot. So yeah. Well, you can kind of find Aori on any chain near you.
But yeah, tell us more about your cross-chain strategy. So, you said that it's, kind of similar to UniX. Will users be able to trade individually on each chain, or will you allow to trade cross-chain as well?
So right now it's only single chain. So it's trading. I have ETH, and I want to swap for any chain, any token on ETH mainnet. But we absolutely do plan on having tokens be tradable cross chain, where you have a token on chain A and a token on chain B, and you want to swap for both. And so the way that works is through like similar to how it works on same chain on Iori. We tap into a number of liquidity sources and venues, Li.Fi, across, etc., a number of these other bridges in type venues, and we check our users and check to see where the best price can be found. And through this intent centric model, we then basically route the user's initial intent for making some kind of a swap from the initial chain to the latter chain. And so that's for any kind of trade or loan position or anything you want to do through Aori, it'll all work that same way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that actually that's the path that is normal for anything swaps to go to abstract this for the end user, so that the end user, if we want to onboard 1 billion people, they won't choose their RPC for which chain they want to go to, or God knows how many L2s and L3s they're gonna be. They just want to swap X for Y, and that's it, which are usually going to be anyway long tail assets, which is anyways complicated to get to them or to get their contract addresses. So that's what we're actually, believing in, and we're trying to, get to a point in which everything feels so abstracted, so that the user, they don't even care that they have to pay gas on the source chain or on the destination chain, or if they have to, you know, switch chains, for example.
Yeah, very well said. I really like how you guys have done it. The UX of Jumper has been, really great, and yeah, I think it's really quite awesome. Quite awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much more to see in the future months, especially with the whole intent-based architecture that's coming up, and that we're very much researching, and we're cooking something, but we're still in the research phase. So for any of the core and the pro jumper users, keep an eye out for any announcements. Yeah, tell us more, Joshua, about the upcoming features or updates from Aori that users should be excited about in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, very excited, as I mentioned, for we'll be launching a swap UI very soon for everybody to play with. So please keep an eye on our Twitter and our Discord. Our Discord will be kind of the first place you'll get to play with it and use it. So we're super excited about that. And then yeah, we have some really cool things like Vault products and everything that'll be coming out shortly thereafter as well. So you'll be able to LP to Aori, run automated strategies, things like TWAPs, market making strategies, cash and carry perp strategies that all execute directly against Li.Fi and other solvers and aggregators directly onto our platform. So we're super excited for that, and have been working with some really cool partners on building that. So I'm incredibly excited, I'm so excited because we've been working for months on getting this shipped and working on and making our backend incredibly robust. And yeah, we have a couple of like real institutional trading groups that are live trading right now across a couple of chains we're on. So getting it finally live for like the public is something that I've been dying to do. So incredibly excited. Yeah.
What do you think of the whole intent sector going? We see more and more intent-based taxes coming up. Some of them have, newer iterations of what an intent is. Yeah, where do you see this sector being in, a year from now?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. Intents are kind of like still wide open right now in terms of like definitions and like what it'll end up looking like. I think the way we look at intents at Aori is, the most basic building block, regardless of however complicated you're trying to make an intent product, is you're trying to swap some kind of token for another kind of token, and you can basically deconstruct every DeFi primitive into a swap of some kind. So just to give a very simple example, when you go to Compound or Aave and you want to open a loan, you're making a swap of your collateral for the loan token. And then whenever you repay that loan, you're making a swap from the loan token back to the collateral token. And so it can be viewed as two swaps. And so we believe that by creating an order book where every limit order, every swap on Aori can be then used to make certain contract calls on chain or do anything, really you can kind of add any arbitrary data you want to a contract call. That means that using limit orders on Aori or using our intent, limit orders, I guess is a good way of putting it, then that means you can construct any more complicated intent on top of that. So you could very easily build an application on Aori where you say, I'd like to open a loan and all of that work is done for you on chain, but all you have to do is sign a message and make a swap. So yeah, I think intents over the next few years will start to expand outside of just swaps, but in terms of like what they're called and how much cool stuff you can build with them. But I think it's just it'll all remain with that core building block or lowest possible level being swaps themselves. So yeah, I think there will always be a place as a result, regardless of how complicated the intent is, for aggregation tools like Li.Fi and like what we're doing at Aori for that. So yeah, it's a super interesting space. I guess I'd love to also get your take on that, Andre.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, I was so interested in the cross-chain sector, and that's why I also started to get involved more and more, and then I joined Li.Fi. But if you're looking at where the space was 2 years ago, the main focus was on anything chain abstraction, and there were so many definitions for that, but it was always the same example of, I have a loan here and I want to repay a loan on the destination chain in a seamless way. It seems that now everything went a bit more granular on first solving this truly same chain, and then we will look how to do this cross chain, which I think that is good because 2 years ago everyone had those grandiose visions about how to solve this. Intents weren't even, a thing back then, but that was actually what it was. Obviously, gas was uh, not part of the conversation because people were just trying to crack, the vision and the mission for this. But now I'm actually pretty excited, and I think that the sector is going into the right direction, being more granular and starting, from the bottom first, in the meaning that first we need to solve for same chain chain swaps, and then we can move to aggregating this or doing this cross chain, and then we will get to actual cross chain message passing and solving for more complex tasks like uh, actually repaying loans or sending messages or I don't know, opening up a perpetual swap on the destination chain. So basically, cross-chain contract calls in an intent-based centric system, which I think it would be a pretty cool idea. And I know that some teams are actually working on that. But still, I very much like you guys because you are taking a very uh, systematic approach on this.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, and I definitely agree. Yeah.
All right. Well, we still have a few more minutes, so maybe you wanna share some alpha here for our audience. 65 people in the audience, so I think that you can share some spicy alpha. I always like to keep this as one of the last questions for all the users that have listened to the end. They deserve something. Anything like small, big. Follow you on the socials. Keep an eye out for something.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, yeah, I would say everybody join our Discord. Our Twitter account is Aori underscore IO, ARI underscore IO. And join our Discord, and we will be sharing a swap link with everybody very soon to end up using Aori, trading on Aori, and trying it. Check out our Telegram group chat. I'll have the app that you can share as well. It is, hold on, our Telegram group chat. Let me get that for you. But yeah, just to give some alpha though, yeah, we'll be having a swap UI very soon that everybody can use, and then yeah, there'll be some pools on Aori that you can deposit to, and maybe farm some cool tokens and stuff very soon. So yeah, be early, and yeah, hopefully we'll do a good job of rewarding our best users. Yeah, I think maybe last piece of alpha is yeah, whenever we go live, we're hopefully going to have a lot of volume from some really cool institutional partners. So I think something people won't be ready for is kind of the I guess the scale of kind of how much volume and kind of how high frequency Aori can be. So yeah, a little rambly there, but yeah, I think that's probably a good place. And our Twitter is the Aori Gym, or sorry, our Telegram is the Aori Gym. I believe it's linked on our website and on our Discord, so feel free to join that as well.
Nice, thank you for this. I'm excited that LI.Fi is also part of the big institutions that you mentioned that would be part of your vision, and I think that this will be a very fruitful partnership for the long run between us. Thank you very much for joining. This was very educational. I always like to have a discussion uh, about intent. And yeah, I think this is it for our audience here. Jordan, what do you think of it?
Hey, yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty bullish. I'm pretty bullish on future of Aori, and I've dropped some official links in the chat channel over here. So if you want to keep up to date community on all that's happening at Aori, from the Discord to the Twitter, I've dropped that in there. But super excited to see those swaps go live, and for our community to interact with their protocol.
Jordan, it seems like we've booted Joshua from our Discord for posting a link.
Oh, oh damn, that bot. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me sort that out for us. Hey Josh, the
Sorry.
alpha was too spicy. The alpha was
Yeah,
too
I
spicy. Like,
posted your auto mod banned me because I posted our Telegram link in the
bro,
chat. So I'll
that's
send that to
crazy.
you guys. I'll send that to
And we'll
you
put it in
guys
the chat.
to send. So yeah, so I don't get banned again. But
Yeah,
cool, cool,
damn.
awesome.
I
Thanks,
guess I
guys.
guess safe to say Li.Fi is big on security, right? But we'll
Yeah,
put that in the
hey,
chat.
hey, hey. They're so secure. They make sure their speakers don't even commit, or post links that could be unsafe. So yeah,
Damn it.
it's all
Yeah.
good. It's all good.
Cool. Well, it's in the
You got
chat now, guys. So it's a community. You can join Giga Chats only. Okay, I like that. I like that heading for the Telegram user chat. You can, if you're a Giga Chat, you can join the Aori Gym Telegram group.
Thanks so much for sharing that, and thanks everybody for listening. Really appreciate everybody's time today.
Thanks a lot, Joshua. This was great. You're probably now some sort of power user because Jordan allowed you some specific
His loyalty pass
uh
level is about to boost. That's all I can say.
yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go.
But yeah,
Let's
this was
go.
very fun. Thanks for joining, Joshua. And yeah, I was saying that this was, also very educational, and always enjoy a good, intense conversation with Giga Brains like you.
Yeah, and thank you so much. You guys are doing some awesome stuff. So yeah, we'll absolutely really excited to work together. Thanks everybody.
Cool,
Thanks
everyone.
a lot.
Until next time, this has been great. Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye bye.